electrical issues are quite a bit different related to the heart, and so they wanted to medicate me, they wanted to do an ablation, they wanted to do all this stuff, and my intuition told me that there is something else out there. And I'd already been researching hemp and cannabis and CBD and all that good stuff to try to find an answer. And at that point, a buddy of mine knew I was very holistic and knew I ran gyms and all that. And he got a hold of me, and he was working with the Full Spectrum Hemp Oil Company. And he came up and he come took a tour of the gym. I told him what was going on, and I got a hold of a bottle of his 25 milligrams Full Spectrum Hemp Oil. And so I thought, you know what? I'm just going to take these things and see what happens. I'm not going to tell nobody. I'm not going to do anything. And so I started taking 25 milligrams morning and night. Within 2 days, my heart went into rhythm, and now it has stayed into rhythm now for I think about 5 or 6 years. So it stayed in rhythm.
Hi, and welcome to the Awakening series. My name is Kimberly Archuleta. This is a series where we bring brilliant minds together. Today we have a few honored guests. We have Amy and Jake, who run an amazing fitness business, the NIP Fitness in Iowa. They have a few gyms, actually more than a few. Also, they own a CBD hemp company, and they're quantum healers. Welcome to the show. Thank you so much for your time today. I'm really excited and honored to have you on the show.
Thank you so much. We are honored to be here.
Yay. Wonderful.
Yeah.
Amy, Jake, if you wouldn't mind giving me a little bit of history about your journey. I mean, there's so many different facets of what you do for people. I'd love to learn more.
Yeah, my journey started, I've been into the health and fitness ever since I've been a little boy. I lifted weights every day since I remember, honestly. And I developed a real passion for powerlifting. And so powerlifting became my life. And that's honestly all I could think about and all I did. And I wanted to be the best in the world and best at what I did. And so it took me about 8 to 9 years until I finally broke an all-time world record in the bench press, something I've been chasing forever. And so during that journey, I was always very cautious about what I ate, what I put into my body, the supplements, the keeping my body moving and functioning optimally, because it's a lot of pressure on a lot of your joints, on a lot of your body, and all that type of stuff. So everything went good. I broke a world record. And then it's been about 4 years ago. I had some things going on. I was starting to hurt. My elbows were starting to hurt. And then I developed atrial fibrillation, AFib. And at that point, I really, I was kind of lost with it. I was in perfect shape. Everything was great, but my heart was just not functioning how it was supposed to function. It would beat, and then it would pause, and then it beat again, and then do that. And it was doing that about every 4 to 5 days. And so I'd go into AFib it would last about 12 to 16 hours, and then it would go into rhythm. And then about 4 to 5 days, again, like I said, it would go back out of rhythm. And so I honestly was kind of lost. So I actually went to the doctor, and we had every test scheduled and done. I had an angiogram, I had a stress test, I had everything done, and my heart was in perfect shape. It was 0% blockages anywhere. My heart was not enlarged. Everything looked great, but it was just off electrically. And so they really didn't have a really good answer for AFib when it's off electrically. If your heart is plugged, if it's 90% plugged, you want to unplug it, and that's a mechanical issue. But electrical issues are quite a bit different related to the heart, and so they wanted to medicate me, they wanted to do an ablation, they wanted to do all this stuff. And, my intuition told me that there is something else out there. And I'd already been researching hemp and cannabis and CBD and all that good stuff to try to find an answer. And at that point, a buddy of mine knew I was very holistic and knew I ran gyms and all that. And he got a hold of me, and he was working with the Full Spectrum Hemp Oil Company. And he came up, and he took a tour of the gym. I told him what was going on, and I got a hold of a bottle of his 25 milligrams Full Spectrum Hemp Oil. And so I thought, you know what? I'm just going to take these things and see what happens. I'm not going to tell nobody. I'm not going to do anything. And so I started taking 25 milligrams morning and night. Within 2 days, my heart went into rhythm, and now it has stayed into rhythm now for I think about 5 or 6 years is where it stayed in rhythm. Yeah, and so after about 3 months, I was like, okay, something really happened here, and I really want to know why and how it worked. And so that's what I've did for the last 4 to 5 years is basically study these plants and figure out how and why it fixed my heart. And so now it's, my passion to basically spread this knowledge and let people know that this is available, and also let them know what to look for when you're looking for a product and how it works inside of your body. Because that's what's so important to me, that people understand how it works inside of your body. So that's my main focus anymore. I mean, we still work out. I don't compete, but we try to take the people that are broken, that come through our door, that are in pain. And, I tell our staff that 10 out of 10 people that walk through our door are either suffering mentally or physically, or they're suffering mentally because they physically hurt. And so we just try to grab those people and we try to take their pain away. And so, like I said, we have a lot of different modalities that we use, but the cannabis and the hemp is one of our main tools that we use. And so that's when, Amy's my manager at the Clear Lake Fitness Center. And so when I met her, she was, in pretty rough shape, on 9 different prescriptions. And I seen something in her. So I'm going to let her tell her story a little bit and where she went.
Well, I'm Amy. And I got into fitness. I've been an athlete my whole life, high school sports, that kind of thing. And I went through a rough patch of life, being a teenager, early 20s. And I really started struggling with some severe depression, anxiety, and that kind of stuff. And that's when I really found fitness to be my outlet. It kind of saved my life. It gave me something to focus on. I struggled with some addiction and that kind of thing. And so I just kind of switched to fitness. But throughout that period, I was under the care of a doctor, and, anxiety, depression. Every time I go to the doctor, they throw another med at me, and this compounded. And when I started, when Jake opened up the Clear Lake location, I bugged him because that was my dream job. I wanted to manage and work in a gym. I mean, and these facilities are amazing, and to be a part of it was just a dream come true. Well, I started talking to Jake, and I, like he said, he could see that there was something just not quite right there. I was, I had this smile on my face, but I wasn't happy. I was struggling a lot with my life, and those prescriptions were just weighing me down. I was a zombie. So we started talking about the hemp oil. He educated me, and then I kind of did the same thing. I ran an experiment, and I slowly weaned myself off all the medications and raised the hemp oil, and it's been 5 years now, and I'm the healthiest and happiest, and just in an amazing place. And I love it. And I'm so passionate because I have people other women just like me, walking through that door every day that are struggling, and I get to help them, So sorry, sometimes I get emotional now. It's just, I'm so passionate about what we can do and what we do here. And it's more than, fitness is a huge part of what we do, but it's so much more, it's everything that we do. So
it's so brilliant and so beautiful. And the fact that you guys are your own case studies, the fact that you have helped so many people, and that you continue to help people when you see them, when you see their energy so low, you can, there's something there, like you said, that isn't right, that's off balance, the pills, the stress, whatever it may be, but you're able to have this intuition, I guess, and then be able to, truly find the root cause, I guess. And then from there, work with them, work with their body, work with their soul. So I don't know anybody really like you guys. And then you guys are the two of you together is just phenomenal. Wow. I'm so enamored by the gyms that you have. About I think you guys also have CBD within the gym. Is that how it works? Can you give me some insight about that?
Yeah. So the gyms, it's another thing that I wanted to be different. I wanted to look at overall health. There's so many gyms that they're just a gym. They want to get members in there. They want to lock them into a contract rate and, get their money and never see them again. And so from the get-go, I wanted to create a destination for people, that, hey, I want to go there. I can feel good. I can exercise. I can get healthy food. I can get cryotherapy. I can get massage. We can talk to people that want to help us. And so that's kind of all the different modalities that we have inside of our gym. And fitness is a big piece of the puzzle, but it's also a small piece of the puzzle. A lot of people think that, like I said, they're just going to join the gym and they're going to do some exercise and it's going to solve all their problems. And that fails about 99.9% of the time, because all people have other underlying issues that are affecting how they're feeling. And so, a lot of time I won't even talk to them about joining the gym. First, we want to get your pain under control so you can enjoy the gym. And so we'll go through a process to where we work with them and get their mental and physical under control, and then we'll introduce them to the gym. And that's when they're going to start to see results. That's when their bodies are going to change. They're going to be happy, their life changes. And so that's kind of, how we work with people and why we're a little bit different than, your regular fitness centers that people have.
Absolutely. I don't think I have, I've been in the gym, multiple gyms. I probably still have, I'm probably still paying monthly to gym. I know I am. There's one that I need to cancel and it's been like 2 years. So I've been to so many gyms in my life and never have I experienced anything like this. Yes, they may have, massage area, but it's like you're healing the whole body, before they even start working out, or at least getting them to a point to think about it that way. And that's the education. And I think that's so key. And I believe you mentioned, off camera.
Hempicated?
Hempicated. Yeah, it's called
not medicated.
Hempicated, not medicated.
Hempicated. Yeah, I love that. I love the hempicated. That's what I'm trying to do as well, is just educate people, because so many people don't know. So many doctors don't know.
No. They don't. We find some good doctors that are very open, that say, hey, and actually we have quite a few doctors that are referring people to us right now, which is really nice to see. They're actually a human being, and they're realizing that there is benefits to this, and they actually care about their patients, and tell them to try this and come to us. So that's refreshing. But then you have your other ones that are, hey, that's not studied, that's not FDA approved, this doesn't work, blah, 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 So, we just work with the ones that are like-minded and go from there.
Educate as much as possible. Every time I go to meet a doctor, I try to educate them as much as possible. And hopefully they're looking at our website when we leave.
Yeah. The biggest thing is the education, just telling people how this plant works inside of your body, number one, and then what to look for if you go to buy something, because this industry is extremely dirty, from genetics to the way they get their oil out to the pesticide. There's just so many different things that the average person has no idea about. And so that's kind of our mission, is to, educate them. Absolutely.
Absolutely. So as far as the, quantum healing, we kind of just touched on that. Who was your first, I guess, client? Obviously yourself, maybe, or there you go, Amy.
You're all right here. Yeah.
So, and then how did it progress? You've been traveling. You traveled to meet people and help heal them.
Yeah. Now that I look back, I've been doing quantum physics all my life, and we kind of laugh about this a lot. And I didn't even really know I was doing it. I didn't really know that I was listening to my intuition. I didn't, all these different things that I look back and I'm like, wow, I was always doing this. And I was trying to help her, and that's not when we were even into quantum physics. And it was kind of a random message. I wouldn't say random, but a guy that I went to a biohacking week with, that I met, that I connected with, named Bob Berenger. And, he sent me a message. I messaged him back. I go, I think I'm supposed to come see you. And he goes, I know you're supposed to come see me. And so we both felt this. And so we bought a plane ticket and we flew out there and met Bob. And Bob is a master in quantum physics. And so we went out there. He
blew our mind.
He blew our mind. He did. His level of intelligence about quantum physics was overwhelming to me, but it was so interesting to me. And so when we got back from that trip, we took about a week and let our brain settle down. And then we started order books and started studying quantum physics. And I fell in love with it, and so did she. And it's just another one of our tools that we use as well, teaching people about quantum physics, you know, how you can manifest and, you know, from thoughts, emotions, how they work, you know, vibrations, you know, all that good stuff. And so it's just so fun. And I just, you know, everyone needs to know about this. You know, they need to understand it and know about it, because the world would be so much better if the vibration was so much higher. And it's not that, to me, it seems so simple to get it higher. But so many people think it's like magic, or it's, you know, that can't be that way. Like, there's no way karma works. You know, how does karma, whatever, that's just chance, you know? So that's kind of how I got involved.
That's so cool. And yes, in every aspect, like what you're saying just resonates with me so much. I mean, and we are just so much more powerful than we think. And then we can become more powerful if we practice, you know, all of these techniques, like your friend Bob Berenger, like the biohacking. We could biohack our entire day, our entire life, or, you know, it just changes who we are and the people around us. And again, educating everybody else. So if you can give me like a case study, if you don't mind, of, say, for example, somebody you helped with the techniques that you've learned.
You know, I'll just use Amy as an example. You know, that's the first thing I did with her. You know, I mean, with quantum physics, I started talking to her right away about thoughts. You know, I battled anxiety at a very young age, and you know, that's the number one thing I learned was, you know, I control how I'm going to feel. And so we started working on just simple what if thoughts. And so we went into, you know, what ifs don't happen 99.9% of the time. And so when you have one of those thoughts come in, we thank that thought for coming in, and then we replace it with something happy. And that sounds so simple to people. And this is what I work with so many people on, is if you can just do this one little thing, just replace your what if thoughts, and don't get mad at that thought. You thank it for coming in. We want to be in gratitude all the time. And then just replace it. And so, you know, Amy worked hard on this, and she still works hard on this. I still work hard on this, but it's still very, very difficult, because I tell people that suffer with like anxiety and depression that those thoughts never, ever go away. They will always creep in and try to smack you around, and they'll always be there. It's just, you got to know how to handle them. Since, you know, so many people the fix with modern medicine is what they do with, you know, we're seeing this all over with a lot of our employees, is they just medicate them. So they don't let them control those thoughts. They don't let them do nothing. And it turns them into a complete zombie. And that's one of the saddest things. We just had this discussion the other day, is that we hire a lot of, you know, that 18 to 21-year-old range of girls. And I would say, what would you say, 9 out of 10 of them?
Yes.
9 out of 10 of them are medicated. And most of them are medicated from the age of about 14 to 15. And they are completely lost. You know, they're running into walls. They have no emotion. They can't do nothing. And so it's very, you know, it's kind of scary, very scary. And so, you know, that's another one of our big passions.
Yeah, that's our future. This is our future. These young children are our future. And the fact that they're being medicated, I mean, how could you truly learn and retain the knowledge, right, with medication making you so foggy? It just, you could only retain so much, right? And I mean, in general, let alone with medication.
Yeah. I was running into walls, and we had a new employee that struggled with the same thing. You know, she was so out of it that she was running into walls. I had to withdraw from college. You know, I was totally numb. You know, and yes, I didn't have those severe lows, but I didn't have anything. You know?
Yeah, no feeling,
no
emotion. You know, and that's.
How do we raise the collective vibration when we're not feeling anything? You know, you can't feel that gratitude if you're not feeling. So I think it's.
Yeah, it's like you said, it's extremely scary, because that is our future, and most of them don't know any better. And you know, and it's, you know, I look at them girls, and it's not their fault. They're 14 and 15. They're listening to their mothers, who's listening to the doctor, and that's what happens. You know, and it's just sad.
It's so sad. And this is exactly why we're meeting today. Like this information, it needs to be out and publicized and published and pushed out to the masses, so people can just basically, even just if this plants a seed in somebody's, you know, something. Yeah, exactly. In their field, in their energy. And then, you know, in a couple of weeks, a year, whatever it may be, they're like, oh, I remember I heard this, and I love this, or even just having them research more and more. So actually going into the research aspect of it, what type of books would you recommend for beginners in this field, if you don't mind?
We love Joe Dispenza.
Vision.
Yeah, Vishen. What was it? The
What,
rules.
Makani? Vision Makani?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
I love his books. Becoming Supernatural is probably one of my favorite books. I've read that 2 or 3 times, and I could probably still read it again and still learn from it because it explains it well to me.
And it's on audio. It's on audio, right? So, and if you can retain knowledge faster, you can do 1.2 speed or 1.5 speed instead of just the normal speed. So yeah, I love the audiobooks, but yeah, Joe Dispenza has a ton on.
There was a book called Frequency.
That was
that was a very good book. That's definitely. I always say they're a really good book if they're a reread.
Laura Lynn Jackson. I just read both of her books, and I have recently lost my dad and brother, and things like that really help. I like to think about what happens when we die, and that's one of people's biggest fears. And if you can get over that fear, it's not the end. I mean, we're all just energy. There's energy all around us, so those help a lot too. We've probably read, we've read a lot of books in the last couple of years. We just switch them back and forth, and we hand them out to people.
It's just unlimited
Yep.
knowledge that you can learn. I mean, the learning, you can just constantly learn from that, and that's what I love about quantum physics.
And it's real. I mean, it's science. It's science, 100% science. So
Absolutely. As far as advice, what type of advice would you give your younger self if you could, now knowing what you know?
Find Jake Prizak. I wish I could have met him, 20 years ago and started, before I got on all this medication, but no.
I would have, I just really wish that I would have known about how much your thoughts control how you feel, because I struggled a lot and I had no guidance or no one to help me with anything. I honestly listened to my intuition. That's all I listened to. When they prescribed me that, I suffered from severe anxiety at a very young age. I mean, I thought I was dying from a brain tumor. I thought I had brain cancer. I drove myself to the Rochester Mayo emergency room, and they told me it was all in my head. And I said, "You guys are crazy because I think I'm dying." And then they prescribed me give me a prescription called Paxil. And so I got it, I looked at it, and my intuition said, don't take that. And so I started to research it, and I found, it led me to a place where it said 10 signs of severe anxiety disorder. And I'm like, wow, I have 8 out of 10 of those things. I said, they were right. It was in my head, And so once I knew that, I'm like, okay, so I'm not dying of a brain tumor, so I'm okay. And so then that was my mission to I'm going to figure this out. And so that's when I started to really dive into the anxiety, depression, going to biohacking weeks, buying tapes, buying programs, and just trying to figure that out for myself. But I wish I would have had a little bit of guidance on, how that really works, because that would have been huge to know back then.
Yeah.
Body as a whole too, instead of, because I spent so many years just working out diet. That was going to fix everything, instead of thinking about how I can heal my brain and how I can heal my soul. And once I started seeing the big picture and working on all those aspects, then that's when my life began to change. And that's when I got really healthy. And that's when the magic started happening. Not just, you think that if you're just skinny enough, or if you just work out enough, that everything's going to be okay. And that's not the way it is. Yeah.
That's beautiful. Those are such great insight. I love the advice question. It allows us to think what's working for us now and what could have worked for us before. And it just kind of gets us back to that place of the innocence that we didn't know. We were so young, and to have been taught any type of information. I just think what I did is I just kept attaching myself to a thought, and I would never release it. So I when I was younger, and I'm sure everybody kind of struggles with some type of anxiety because they don't know how to detach from a thought oh, I'm going to get an F on this paper. I just know it, even though I studied profusely the past 3 weeks, I feel like it's not going to go well. And then you go down that stream and it's like a spiral. And It's so sad because we don't know. And their parents are like, why are our kids, like saddened? Why are they this? Why are they that? It's because they're attached to this one thought and they can't get out of their own way. And if we were taught how to just release it, oh my gosh, how like the imagination we could have had then, because we weren't spending so much energy on these, terrible thoughts.
I was listening to something the other day and they were talking about if they would just teach children how to meditate in elementary school, how much different the world would be. If every child was taught that was a class, like let's learn how to meditate, and control those thoughts and how to help that stuff, that the whole world would be different. And I believe that's true and beautiful.
Absolutely, 1000%, Amy. I completely agree with you. I just learned how to meditate maybe like 4 or 5, maybe 6 years ago, and it changed my life for sure.
It's hard.
It's just the most beautiful thing in the world, and I love it. And the fact that your thoughts are, raising the consciousness, raising the collective consciousness is, so wonderful. So, maybe one day we can do like a big meditation and things like that.
That would be awesome.
I would love that, like a live event and do a big meditation. So my question to you, I guess one of my last questions would be is like, what next for you? You have this business, you have fitness, you're doing quantum healing, like literally helping heal people. What next?
It's just continue to heal people and reach out. We'd love to have a healing house to where we incorporate animals into our healing house and have all these different modalities in there as well, from PMF therapy to cryotherapy to salt therapy to just every type of therapy you can possibly have. And then lead meditations like we talked about, just like a retreat, almost like a biohacking week type of thing, but incorporate a lot more stuff to it. We are animal lovers, and animals have so many benefits for people, and so that's kind of what we'd love to do. That type of stuff. I do love running the gyms, but sometimes it's time to move on as well and do something else. So I'll always heal people, but that's just how I'll do it.
I love the healing house. I love that. All of the modalities. I'm thinking also of sound healing. I think they've done so many research or so many studies. A lot of the information has been lost for some weird reason, or people are no longer alive with that information. But their information has been lost, the research. So I think I recently found a podcast, or on YouTube, I should say, a channel that talked about sound therapy and how it crushed or it eliminated the cancer cells with certain sound. And it's just like, it's so easy to, come up with a certain sound. And as we know, if we listen to, 528 hertz, it raises your vibration, all these different hertz, the music that we listen to, and so many different things that help raise our vibration, but also can help heal us internally. So I love all of this. Oh gosh, I would be more than happy to help you get a healing house. Would that be in Iowa, or like where would that be?
I'm open.
We're
anywhere.
open.
Yeah.
Maybe a few of them. You never know.
Yeah.
I don't know. It just sounds really unique and fun. There's some that have certain parts of it, but I want it to be like everything.
Yeah.
Who doesn't want to come pet a cow?
Pet a
Right?
cow. Get some sound therapy and light therapy and
do a cold plunge.
Do a cold plunge at the same time. There's just, I don't know.
Maybe we could start with a quick retreat, like you said, and like just have people come, like your inner circle. Obviously, they would come. They truly believe in what you're doing, and they see the results, and just like try it. I mean, I'll be there. I'll pay. Like I would pay for a retreat. Yeah, that would be super awesome.
I know it would be a lot of fun. It'd fulfill my soul. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Because that's what I'm supposed to be doing.
Yes.
Yeah, we're always supposed to evolve. We're always supposed to, and obviously you guys are here to help the greater good. I mean, you guys are so passionate about what you're doing, and it just, like I said when I first met you, I was like, "Who are you, amazing people?" Like, oh my gosh, give me a hug. I just want to be in your vibe. I'm just so thankful I met you guys, and what you're doing is just the most amazing thing in the world. And I couldn't thank you enough for all the people you've helped and all the people you're going to help. So if I can do anything, please let me know. I'd love to be a part of anything you have in the future. And I can't wait to get this interview out, because all of your insight and all of your knowledge is just priceless.
Thank you so much for having us. And when I come back out, we'll definitely find you.
Yes.
Yes, please do.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Awesome. Well, thank you both. Is there anything else you'd like to say, maybe where we can find you online or social media platforms, or if people have questions?
You can find the gyms at nipfitness.com. That'll lead you to the gym websites. We also have a link on there that will lead you to our Hempicated and Dedicated website. So hempicatedanddedicated.com, and that's all spelled out, and that will take you to our hemp oil website as well. And so, yeah, and then we're on Facebook and Instagram, all that good stuff as well. So, yeah, or look me up or Google it, and you'll find me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anything else you'd like to tell the masses?
Keep that vibration high.
Yeah.
Keep raising it. Keep trying to get better.
Stay in gratitude.
Stay in gratitude and try to get a little bit better each day.
If I could tell somebody one thing, it's make a gratitude list every night before you go to bed. And it's an easy thing to just start changing your life. So,
yeah.
I love it. And I'm so thankful for you guys. Aw, thank you so much for your time. Thank you. Thanks, Amy. Thanks, Jake.
Thank you. I appreciate it.